This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, on this show, we talk about everything under the sun, and tonight is about beers and microbrewing. And joining us tonight are some guys from, some very cool guys from the Baguio Craft Brewery, which is the only microbrewery in Baguio. But they are promoting craft brews and microbrewery here in the Philippines. And joining us to talk about this wonderful art and very nice pastime is Ryan Garcia. He's the owner and business development manager of Baguio Craft Brewery. And of course, his friend Yoyo Sarmenta, who is the administrator here in Metro Manila. Yeah. Guys, welcome to Philippines Uncut. Good evening.
Yeah,
Hi.
Glad to be here.
Now, I'm really glad that you guys are here because I'm really a big fan of Baguio Craft Brewery because I actually have a home in Baguio and I go to your place all the time. And I want to share this experience with the viewers now about these wonderful products that you guys are churning out in the city of Pines, no?
Yeah.
But before we talk about that, let's talk about you guys. Tell us a bit about your background. Let's start with Ryan.
Yeah, I'm the business development manager of the company, mostly in charge of developing the business in Metro Manila, also getting the ingredients into the country, etc. And my college background was finance and international business in San Francisco.
Now, you say you're the business development manager of I understand that the mother company of Baguio Craft Brewery is called Savior Beer. And we saw the AVP of Savior Beer.
Yes.
So later on, we'll try to explain to the audience how these two entities connect with each other,
Yes,
Savior
sir.
Beer and Baguio Craft Brewery. So you are the business development manager of Savior Beer. Okay. How about you? Yoyo?
Actually, I'm friends with Ryan and his friends who made up the initial plans for Baguio Craft Brewery. And then, actually, I'm the newest member of the team. Came around about a month ago. But I've been helping them out in their events and their planning before then. And then an opportunity came up, hey, you want to go full-time in this beer business? I'm like, sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you full-time, and you, Ryan, you are part-time with this beer business.
Medical equipment.
No. I mean, it's all good. I mean, in this day, it's all about multitasking and multiple jobs. But interesting that you guys have really parlayed this into full-time business. Now, let's talk about beer. How did you guys get into beer? You know, you have a finance background, and you have another
Psychology
background. How did you guys get into this? I mean, let's start with you.
Yeah, it all started back in Seattle. I went there and for the first time got to try some microbreweries. Friend was bringing me around. And then one of my partners, Chris Ordas, he visited me there all the way from Vancouver para sabihin ko siya magsimula ng business sa Philippines. And we figured out, wala pang microbrewery. Di ba namin alam may microbreweries dito at that time. How about we try a microbrewery in the Philippines? Thus, the idea was born. A couple of years later, we incorporated. And a year after that, simula na mag-brew.
And then you incorporate the Savior Beer Company.
Yes,
Savior.
Corporation.
Now, okay, why did you call it Savior Beer?
Yeah, well, it was a very quick decision actually. We just needed to have a company name. We lived in Xavierville 3, so and originally gusto namin ipatayo doon yung brewery.
In Katipunan, we're talking Xavierville, Katipunan, Quezon City, in
Yes.
front of Ateneo, which you guys are from.
Yes,
Okay.
we're Ateneans.
Okay.
Pero yun nga, medyo sa nagkaroon ng zoning problems and it really took a long time to find an alternate space na affordable. So we decided to go to Baguio. And over there, it's mas friendly yung local government, mas okay yung rent namin,
Mas masarap uminom.
mas
masarap
uminom,
uminom.
malamig. Mas madali rin mag-brew kasi mas malamig yung weather, less
Interesting.
chance of infestation. There's so many factors surrounding the fact.
Interesting. Huh?
And then that was when we decided, a few months after, na let's just brand it Baguio Craft Brewery.
No, but you guys have always been into beer. I mean,
Yeah.
and even you've always liked.
Yeah.
I mean, me too, right? Sure.
But I guess you could define us in the early college days, like regular beer drinkers, like whatever's on the menu, like it's on occasion. And then they approached me like, hey, there's a bigger world out there about beers.
Yeah.
There's brewing, there's different ingredients, and such a thing called craft beer. And I think that's what got me hooked into this.
Okay, let's define beer and craft beer. What is craft beer?
Well, beer in general, as you all know, it's an alcoholic beverage.
All
Determining factor with craft beer is it's the staying true with the ingredients of beer. Beer is actually made with 4 main ingredients.
Okay, and I think we have some of those ingredients with us now.
Yeah,
Are those the ingredients of beer?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
these are the grains.
Yeah, this is an example of malted.
You can hold it up. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
helps. Malted
So
barley.
guys, we're going to show you what goes into every glass or bottle of beer that we guys buy, that we buy or we drink. So, okay,
There.
this first thing you showed us, Ryan, what is this?
This is malt.
Okay, this is the malt.
Malt,
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
And so again, it's malt,
malt.
water, and then this is what you call hops.
Okay. Now, what are hops?
Hops provide the bitterness, the aroma, flavor of beer.
Very important.
Adds
Very
complexity.
important.
Dito
Yeah.
actually, this is where all the magic happens.
That's the heart of beer, really. Hops, no?
Yeah.
Hops.
This
Okay.
is the base, and then this is where you get all of those interesting flavors going on.
Interesting.
Now
And
we have a
then-
couple more ingredient jars over here, just to show you that there's also different kinds of malted barley
malted barley and
hops. So for example, this is chocolate malt.
Yes. It's darker than the one you
Much
showed
darker
earlier, no?
than
It's
the
much
one I showed
darker,
earlier,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, yung mga darker beers usually ito yung lumalabas.
Ito yung mga cerveza negra, ganyan,
Yes.
stout beer are made from that kind of malt.
Yeah, around that category,
Yes.
mga darker types
Okay.
of malt.
All right.
so anyway, again, it's water, malted barley, hops, and then the last ingredient is yeast, which ferments the entire process.
Yes.
So craft beer, I can't really say by definition because there's not really like a dictionary like craft beer, but I guess for the microbreweries here in the Philippines and as well as from Europe and US, define craft beer as with the staying true to the ingredients.
Okay.
I guess that's what separates, let's say, from commercial beers that we're
Okay.
so used to.
Now, okay, when you say stay true to the ingredients, what are commercial beers made of?
Actually, basically it's the same basic ingredients, but what's the different factor is the use of the use of the malt. So some commercial beers use a different kind of grain. Let's say it's corn, rice, like beer or from the olden times. Basically uses malted barley.
Okay.
So what other companies do, I would say that they use a different kind of grain. That's what separates.
But in terms of the process of a brewing beer, you guys, I mean, whether it's a big company or microbrewing, you guys follow the same basic technique.
Yes. Yeah.
And I understand your brewer, your brewmaster, will be joining us in a few minutes to talk about how to brew my craft beers.
Not exactly our brewmaster, but yeah, we're actually
It's our brewmasters in Baguio.
primary requirements of joining the team is to have a little bit of home brewing experience. So lahat naman kami nag-homebrew na
Oh, yan. Okay, let's talk about home brewing. Now, I understand that there are home brewing kits. I've seen on Amazon. I see it being sold sometimes. Home brewing. What are these kits?
Yeah.
When we talk about home brewing kits.
Yeah, essentially they require all the basic ingredients that you will need to make a small batch of beer. Ba? And usually a brewing kit comes with what we call a malt extract, which is malt that has gone through a little bit of processing na para you don't have to go through the process of malting, which is kind of difficult.
Yes.
So you get the malt extract, then you get the hops to give it a little bit of flavor, and you get the pale para dun mo siya i-ferment.
Which we're going to show later.
Yes, we're gonna show that as well.
Okay. Now, how do you guys differentiate your beers? Let's say, okay, like why would I go to your microbrewery and buy your beer, which is not cheap, okay? I mean, it's not cheap as say, I'll say like a San Miguel Light or a San Miguel Pale Pilsen. Why would I go to your craft brewery? Tell me.
Yeah, the primary thing that you would go for there is really just to experience something very new, something you don't get every day over here. Actually, the Philippines is a San Miguel country, and it's a very, very accessible kind of beer. So some people are looking for something a little bit different. That's when they start going to Baguio and having a little bit of our over 20 types of beer.
You have over 20 types.
We have over 20 beer styles at the moment.
Wow.
Over 16 taps
16 are on
at
tap.
one time. Pero yeah, 20 beer styles yung ino-offer namin. And yeah, there's such a large variety of flavor ng beer na pwede nyo ma-experience.
Yeah, because when I went to your craft brewery, I had maybe I had a sampler which had 4, I think your sampler tray is over there, which has 6, no? But you have, I wasn't aware that you guys had 16 or 20.
16 taps.
16 taps of 20 types of different 20 varieties of beer.
Yes.
Now, tell the audience a little bit about the very interesting types of beer that you guys have, because most people are kind of acquainted with Pale Pilsen or something like, and that's it.
Yeah, actually
Lagers.
that's one of the main, like for me personally, that's why I joined them, was the beer enthusiasts in general would go all the way to Baguio just to experience these kinds of beers, because like they want to try, I heard about this strawberry beer, I heard about this hazelnut infused beer. So I think that's the beer enthusiasts or those who are curious would that's cool. So they would jump on that.
Interesting.
So,
okay, let's talk about you have some really nice really cool bottles, with nice labels. Tell us a bit about these. How did you guys come up with these labels and these bottles and things like that? Huh?
Well, at the very beginning, we decided to go with the Cordilleran mythology route. And this is called Pugao IPA. It's our flagship product. It's really, really popular. It's good for both guys and ladies. It's not too bitter, pero there is a little bit of complexity of flavor going on. This is, I think, 160 pesos in the Baguio Craft Brewery.
$160 a glass. Huh? So yeah, it's pretty pricey, especially for Baguio prices, huh? Okay.
Yeah, and this one is probably one of the most popular one, and we actually have a 2-liter sample for us to go.
Actually,
Which we'll try later.
That's my favorite.
It's a black IPA. This is actually being sold by The Perfect Pint and The Perfect Pint and Global Beer.
So this is available here in Manila, in Metro Manila. This message bottle, and I can see it says 7.6% alcohol.
Yes.
This is a strong beer, huh?
Yeah. So
That's one of the things that people pay for.
Now, are your beers typically stronger than the average commercial beer that you could buy here in the Philippines?
We would say so because normally commercial beers range from 5 to 7%. Our weakest beer would be around 6%.
Wow, that's still strong, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
borderline strong beer already.
Yeah, borderline
Yeah.
stronger. It used to be 5.4%, but we decided, let's give it a little bit
jump
more.
it.
Para mas sulit.
So I can see, mas mahal nga kayo ng konti, pero mas mabilis yung tama.
Mas mabilis
Yeah,
yung
actually,
tama.
You get a buzz faster when you drink your
3 or 4
beers.
bottles, you're good for the night of message in a bottle.
I should hope so. Now, okay, message in a bottle, and you showed us the Pugao. What else can we show here
For
that's,
ladies,
that's interesting, huh?
This is one of our first fruit beers. Again, from the Cordilleran mythology line.
You got a
Lagud.
you got a big strawberry in front. Now, does that mean it's made from like some sort of strawberry extract or
Yes,
something like that?
we actually get Baguio strawberries and include them in secondary fermentation, one of the processes ng pagbubrew.
How interesting, huh? How interesting, how
And
interesting.
this is one of the things we got known for when we started back in May. Dun sa Drink Up PH, I don't know if you heard of that event. Pero we had a really big really big poster with a strawberry beer on it. So maraming lumapit. Ano yan?
Naubos agad, no? Naubos
Yeah,
agad.
that was the
Yeah.
first one that got finished.
What is the appeal though of craft beer? Because I'm a kind of like an amateur wine connoisseur, and I can see there are very many nuances with wine. Red wine, most especially red wine. But with beer, do you have the same kind of nuances, like the same little nuances that differentiates fine beer from just, let's say, like ordinary beer?
Yeah, very much so, I would say. Probably just as much as wine.
Yeah.
Because, well, you've got the aroma. Ayun pa lang, just like wine, you smell the beer before you start drinking it. And then when you drink it, you get all sorts of different sensations, such as the mouthfeel niya, ano yung level ng bitterness niya, ano yung kulay niya.
Do you do the same type of, because in wine tasting, you do the nose thing first, and then you swirl it in your mouth,
Yeah.
to get all the different flavors, a smoky flavor or whatever. Do you do the same technique with beer?
Probably a little bit simpler. Pour
Yeah.
the beer into the glass and just,
Not as much a wine style when you just swirl it around. Just
may mga ganun-ganun pa.
konting sniff lang sa beer, tapos,
Yeah, and then have a drink. Ako, I have the habit of smelling it while drinking it. Medyo
It enhances the experience, I guess, no? When you have a very fine beer.
Yes,
Yeah.
parang it feels like my whole face is going through something. That's what really makes it wonderful. Just
Oh,
like
interesting.
wine.
Yeah, interesting.
actually in the States, there are parang may ibang stores na ang setup nila, parang wine cellar type na there are different types of beer, just like in wines. And then people visit there and have a beer tasting then. So in the US, craft beers is really starting strong there. So beers like that or procedures like that when you smell and everything, it's happening in the US.
Okay, another question is, how is this all being received by your customers? Because, okay, let's face it, majority of Filipino beer drinkers know only one thing. I mean, beer in a bucket, your pale pilsen or light beer, and that's it. No?
Yeah.
And you drink it with pulutan, with bar chow. No? What is the reception to fine beers like this, which are, number one, not cheap, but number two, have a lot of variety and are probably finer in taste and quality than what you have commercially?
Well, the response was really very surprising, I have to admit. When we started in Baguio, the very first day, punong-puno yung brewery. And every day thereafter, napupuno siya. During the weekdays, in fact, we get a pretty good crowd going on. But sa weekends, medyo sumasobra na talaga. Nag-spill over sa ibang floors yung mga tao para lang makainom din.
Wow.
And that's really, really encouraging to see. Another really good piece of news was we just started selling our beer in Baguio. In Boracay. And
The party place.
Yeah, party place. They're consuming 2 kegs a day.
That's a lot.
That's
That's a lot of craft beer, huh?
38 liters of craft beer.
How do you send your kegs to Boracay?
Yeah, actually, the restaurant serving our beer there is called Los Indios Bravos, and
Okay.
they have their own logistics. So we just deliver to their warehouse, and then they take care of everything.
Oh, so they brew the beer there in Baguio.
And
I mean, in
Boracay?
in Boracay,
No,
they
no.
brew it there.
we just give them our kegs, my beer and kegs.
Okay, so you ship the kegs over there.
Yes.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
But to your question, there's still some of those people who are hesitant, like when they hear the price point na, like for example,
Initially, for sure.
some of our friends, patikim naman ng beer nyo. Sige, go, punta kayong, let's say, a restaurant, Perfect Pine, gano'n. Just when they go there, parang mahal naman. But they still try and they still appreciate it.
Yes.
Probably, I guess the hesitation is still there, but they're willing to shell out the money and try it out. And we received a lot of positive feedback from there.
I would go as far as say the experience people seek in craft beer is really different from the standard beer experience.
Yeah.
They're really here to taste something new
Yeah.
and not really to get too drunk. Parang it's just
Yeah.
to enjoy.
Which is good, right? Because
I think
drinking
that's one
to
of the
get
main
drunk
differences.
sometimes is
Yung saktong tipsy.
yeah. Yung tamang-tama lang yung tama, di ba?
Yes.
Tama. Well, guys, anyway, we have to pause for a break, but joining us in a while will be Miko Cortez, and he is one of the chaps who's brewing for you guys, and he'll tell us more about the brewing process and show us some of the equipment you use and all that. So guys, hold on for our break. Don't go away because more of Baguio Craft Brewery when Philippines Uncut returns.